Time now for me to introduce my guests joining the conversation this morning. And we have right next to me Professor Sharif Khalid, and he is Associate Professor of, I always get it twisted. Accounting and Finance. Okay, Accounting and Finance. And Bernard Mona, he needs no real introduction.
Flag bearer.
Pardon me?
I said flag bearer.
Flag bearer. Bernard Mona, you are still in your Che Guevara-esque. This time I will not mistake Africa for Ghana. You think you'll get me this time? you fooled me once.
No, I didn't. You saw Ghana colors and decided that it was Ghana man.
Yeah, I hadn't paid attention to
I just drew your attention.
You just drew my attention. Anyway, so Bernard Mona also joins the conversation. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you gentlemen the usual 1 minute or so to reflect on something topical that you'd like to get into. I'll start with you, Bernard Mona.
Well, if something topical, yesterday, a group of us filed a petition to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, requesting them to do thorough investigations into the unknown sources of Madame Cecilia Dapa's wealth, particularly the sums of money that were retrieved from her home and those that were counted in her bank accounts, comparing her income and what she, within the short period, has amassed, because the bank statements even show even more glaring that it was just within the period that she became a minister that so much money was put into the bank accounts. And it is important to investigate that so that we will be able to know and ascertain where these monies are coming from. Obviously, the Office of the Special Prosecutor had concluded that they did not find anything untoward in terms of bribery and corruption. But what they could see is that there was suspicion of money laundering, which in itself is a crime. Either it is money laundering or money from drugs, because the sources were opaque and bleak in their sources. So it is important that the Commission on Human Rights takes up this. So yesterday, Shiraj received our petition. We are hoping that they will give us the response and institute an investigation into the matter. That investigations, I'm hoping, would invite the petitioners and also invite the petitioned or the person that we are asking to be investigated, so that we'll locate. I'm sure that even beyond that, Shiraj should go to Kumasi in the Ashanti region, where we are told that Madame Cecilia Dapa has some houses. I'm sure the special prosecutor did not get to Kumasi. They only based their investigations within the houses and properties of Madame Cecilia Dapa within Accra. We are doing this in order to ensure that people that are vested with public office will come clean and ensure that resources meant for us are not taken advantage of for their personal and family benefit to the disadvantage of the Ghanaian people.
All right. So very quickly, I'll come to you, but before I do not know why you're optimistic about this. She's been cleared, I mean, from different angles, even before any of this came out. The president said he had full faith in her integrity, and at this point, I don't know what else you want cleared.
No, you know, there are things that we call decisions that will serve as conventions. They will also serve to guide us. And so let Shiraj do their investigations. Let Iyoko, that has done its investigations, and the Iyoko report is clear. It will be used as one day as a reference point.
Okay.
The OSP has done its part. It will be used as reference point. The pronouncement of President Akufo-Addo will be used as reference point. Now, those references, will they be inimical for the forward march of our nation, or they will be beneficial for our forward march of a nation?
Right.
When you take such ugly decisions, don't forget that tomorrow you cannot come and prosecute somebody on the basis that, look, there have been, what do we call it, stare decisis, as the lawyers would call it. And so I am confident that going into Shraj, the outcome and we can tender it. Look, yesterday this thing happened. This is how it was cleared.
Okay.
Therefore, somebody should be cleared or somebody should be implicated.
All right. Sharif, your quick thoughts?
I mean,
and I'm asking for your...
mine, of course, and that's what I'm going. That's why I picked the Daily Graphic. And if you could see, sometimes when politicians get on a sponsorship spree trying to set an agenda, it's quite always very obvious.
What agenda are you
As
seeing?
you could see, I mean, and interestingly, what surprises me is that the Daily Graphic, which is a national daily, joins in the charade of all of this. It starts with Bawumia's humility, splendid, incomparable. Then you come to the Daily Guide, which says Bawumia leads Mahama in survey. Then you come to the almighty Daily Graphic, which says Dr. Bawumia preferred candidate, NDC most popular party.
Do you have a problem with that?
Of course, you should.
Wait, let me see. Ghanaian Times newspaper. Do you have anything, Dr. Bawumia, there on the front page?
Ghanaian Times somehow is appearing to be the most credible newspaper.
This morning.
Despite that,
Gentlemen, hold on. Are you saying because...
It's a sponsored job.
Something has
happened. It's pretty obvious. It's a sponsored job.
No.
It's a sponsored... You're in the media space.
Take it this way. when has Daily Graphic ever published surveys?
Surveys. When?
of even institutions, let alone individual professors.
It's laughable.
So all of a sudden, Daily Graphic is called upon to put on its front page a survey of one candidate.
Yeah.
But I mean, a poll is a poll. And this professor at the Kumasi Technical University on his own has conducted a poll, an interesting poll.
Okay, he has done the poll in Kumasi.
And what's the credibility?
I mean, we don't, we can get into the details and then we can find out.
No.
I can find out.
You know, the worst is that the state newspaper cannot be a propaganda wing of the party.
No,
so you're saying, give me this. So you're saying they can't, so the editor, I mean, every paper has its editor. So if you're referring to Theophilus Yate, he is the editor.
Yeah, he should.
But I'm saying that, is there anything wrong with a paper like the Daily Graphic putting forward that there's been a survey and it says this?
When it's obvious, if said political party is on an agenda spree to project a certain image of a political party, and you join the bandwagon on a Thursday morning to do that, there's everything for that.
It's not about Thursday morning. Sharif, it is about, this is a survey.
Yeah.
This is not the outcome of an election.
No.
The Daily Graphic should be reporting concrete and facts. These are conjectures.
In any case, how is it even worthy of a front?
No, these are conjectures of somebody.
This is the banner headline.
Yes, these are conjectures. Then Daily Graphic decides that you are going to bring conjectures to come and publish in your front page.
Okay, I think we've started the news review already.
The essence of Daily Graphic.
Oh no!
So Bernard Mona,
it's a shame actually.
No, hold for me.
This doesn't.
Maybe when we're done with some of the details, you can tell me whether it's. But the Daily Graphic newspaper, Ghana Korea signed $2 billion deal. You know the South Koreans are on a certain trajectory trying to win.
Yeah.
Some say they are joining the party a little late. In fact, pretty late, but better late than never. Parliament stakeholders agree to timely release of NHIS funds. Scheme owed 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. 6 billion Ghana cedis invested in TVETs. That's according to the director. I'm interested in this one as well on page 11. Graphics 95-year-old first photographer shares amazing story. These are stories that always
front page.
Always warm my heart.
The story again?
And they put it in the corner.
The corner, rather than the front
Ghana's
page.
what?
Graphics 95-year-old first photographer. He was the first photographer for the Daily Graphic. Shares amazing story.
So this morning, Daily Graphic has done disservice to a man who has dedicated his life
95 years.
95 years.
So many
first
years,
photographer.
but rather to put a survey that many of us can really call it.
Some people will disagree with you, but there's also, on the back page, Black Stars seek World Cup redemption against Mali. But let's go to that story. So, 2024 elections, according to that survey, Dr. Bawumia preferred candidate, NDC most popular party, 23.1% undecided. That's according to this poll. But who conducted this poll? A baseline survey report by a political scientist has highlighted the strengths of the National Democratic Congress as a party and Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as a candidate for the 2024 general election. It states that the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Bawumia, leads as the preferred presidential candidate for the 2024 elections, although the NDC remains the preferred party for the majority of the voter population. It's a bit incongruous, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
But anyway, hold for me. The survey was conducted in April 2024. The survey report showed that 38.9% of the respondents favored Dr. Bawumia, with 36.1% preferring the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama. So that's a two plus percentage point difference. The report, however, said the NDC led in popularity with 38.8% as the political party Ghanaians were likely to support in the coming election. The popularity of the NDC, it said, was higher than the NPP in Bono East, Greater Accra, Northern, OT, Savannah, Upper East, Upper West, and Volta regions, while both the NPP and the NDC were at par in popularity in the Western North region. Quoting it, it says, a very large number of prospective party supporters, 23.1%, were undecided on the party to support as at end of April 2024. Until they decide to take interest in one of the political parties, they remain floating. And this feeds into what we've known, that 20% plus are always floating voters. It also says all smaller parties put together are unpopular across the country as of April the 30th, 2024. I don't know how that will affect the Alan Chermatings and the others together as the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. I don't know how it will affect the other independent candidates, the likes of George Chumberima Edu, among others. And then just finally, to conclude, so you can properly cut into it. On the deciding factors, the respondents considered in choosing a presidential candidate: competency formed 50.5%, track record 22.5%, party affiliation 19.1%, financial inducement 3.7%. Please pay attention. Financial inducement 3.7%, religion 1.2%, ethnic background 0.9%, while none comes to mind formed 2.2%. Your reactions. I'll start with you, Bernard.
Well, a party that is said to be popular.
No, a candidate.
No, a party that is said to be very popular, the most populous political party, cannot get its candidate to win an election. But a party that has become so unpopular will have its presidential candidate as a preferred presidential candidate. I don't understand logic.
That's why when I started getting into it, I said it was incongruous.
I don't understand
it
logic
doesn't really...
because, you know, the Sankana English that I was taught may not be able to comprehend this. But clearly, you know, this is a professor sitting at... which one?
Please. Let's not impugn his...
No. Sitting at the Kumasi Technical University. And does his research solo. And that research finds its way into national newspapers and becomes a front page. Now, Daily Graphic publishes it. Then you see that the almighty MPP wing takes it. I'm not sure. Where is the statement? Then the Citizen also publishes.
We don't have the Statesman today.
So you can see that this is a well-cooked
agenda,
well-paid, well-oiled front page headlines. To hoodwink who? The performance of the MPP within this period, the pronouncements of the vice president, and now the inconsistency with which he even carries himself. Things that he endorsed yesterday, today he's running away from them. We are told that the vice president, for instance, is the brainchild of e-levy, and that he actually wrote the e-levy bill to Parliament. Then all of a sudden, the same vice president come and tell you that, no, I'll cancel or abolish e-levy. When we were protesting, sleeping rough in the frontage of Parliament, telling you that e-levy is a siphon of people's working capital, the vice president was goading and aiding. They brought people from sick beds, put them in ambulances so they can vote for something that the vice president believes is inimical for business growth and is inimical for the survival of poor people. Today, the vice president says he's coming to cancel it. The vice president says that he's coming to take away emission taxes. Today, we are faced with reality. The promise of, look, I've worked in the Bank of Ghana before. I know that all the money we need to develop this country is here. We don't need to go and borrow. That today, Ghana is in huge debt, unable to breathe, suffocating. That candidate obviously cannot pass the test of being a preferred candidate. So
But this is a poll. A poll can swing. If you look at how popular, I mean, or how.
No.
If you look at the voting pattern.
Okay, so we sit here. We sit here,
Relax.
and among everybody, I am the most popular person, but you are preferred.
No, I get it. I get that point. I said from the start that it was incongruous for me, but it's also possible.
I'm really wondering what kind of statistical language is being used here. And for me, my disappointment this morning is that the daily graphic.
No, this is the prophet you're talking of.
It's carrying this.
That we are popular,
Right.
but somebody else is preferred.
Which department is he? Which department is he?
He's at the Kumasi Technical University. He's a political scientist.
Which department?
Yeah, political science.
Political science department.
Right.
There's a political science department at
at the
Kumasi Technical University.
Technical University.
A baseline survey report by a political scientist.
Yeah, so you see, even the
political scientist.
It muddies the situation.
At Kumasi.
Can we check from your paper whether it specifies which department? I mean, you could look at it.
Political scientist as a technical university is quite worrying.
Okay, so here it says, and this is a bit misleading. The Daily Guide says, a later survey conducted by the Kumasi Technical University. From what we've seen so far, it says, according to a survey carried out by Professor Smart Sapong, an associate professor of statistics.
Yes.
Okay, associate professor of statistics. So maybe...
So they even got it wrong. Daily Graphic even got it wrong.
Political scientist, statistician. So which one is it? Because... Professor of statistics versus political scientist. But there's even a point.
Yeah.
There's even a point to make that, for example, the University of Ghana, my alma mater, that institution takes these things very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
If you see something coming out, it is not a Professor Ali Duseidu or a Dr. Kwame Asa Asante who has. It's something that they have done as a department.
Either ISA would come out with something or the business.
And then put together. So you wouldn't have ISA coming, it is a...
No, but this tells you clearly it's a political agenda which has failed. I mean, and I think that it's an insult to the good people of
Well, I don't know, but...
It actually compromises the integrity of the Kumasi Technical University. Because anybody picking this, if you take Daily Guide, it says that published by the Kumasi Technical University.
And that he's a professor of statistics. And this one says he's a political scientist.
The statistics department did not commission this.
It hasn't been collaborated.
Because I think we may have to have some interaction.
If it's not commissioned,
in the coming days with the Kumasi Technical University and find out.
If it was commissioned, it would have been used in the name of the statistics department.
Right.
Not in the name of the individual. And Daily Graphic, petty questions that you could find out whether this story is authentic or not.
And you
have come to bamboozle the whole nation.
You would see the effort the editor has put in to give it credibility.
So are you gentlemen saying that you can't give this? No, hold for me. Hold for me. You can't give this any credibility at all. I was making the point earlier that on any given day, we have a lot of political animals in our country, and I don't use that because it's a term we use.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget
the NDC.
Reverends now don't watch. They don't watch.
Bernard Mona, you are being mischievous. But the NPP and the NDC on any given day will have large constituencies.
Of course.
Now, depending on whom you speak to, which is where sometimes polls can be, depending on whom you speak to,
that's why we have
you may not get the necessary, just hold for me, the necessary temperature of the country. You may be able to get in a certain poll, some people leaning towards a way that you don't think is the generality of the country.
Where was this conducted? Ashanti region?
Well,
that's another issue. You see, we need to know the domain of the poll to start with. We need
because it mentions a number of regions.
Yes.
Did you pay attention to that?
Yeah, I did.
It actually mentioned that the NDC was more popular in a certain constituency versus some other constituencies where they were at par with all of that. So obviously it was.
Yeah, but again, my whole concern, which if you could see how me and Bernard decided to just peruse this, and you could see it crumbling Right. Here is that.
And you're an academic.
Yes, I'm an academic. That's why I was shocked at how it was reported. He said, Dr. Bawumia preferred candidate, NDC most popular party. I mean, from a statistician.
No, immediately I read the headline.
Right?
I was scratching my head like, okay,
And
so what's going on?
I mean, when you talk about feeling the temperature of the country, right, and in terms of popularity, this would have even have some credibility. I'm not saying that I want to say this is the outcome I respected. But we all know the popularity of Dr. Bawumia. We all feel it, right? From his days in the stage, public lectures at a central university and how he pontificated of what good he could do of the economy and all of that. And when given the mandate, how he flip-flopped with the economy when it comes to economic management, what he's doing currently on stage. And you juxtapose all of this to what is being reported that he is the most preferred candidate. That is surprising. Anyway, it depends on the cohorts. But I want to look at it from a critical academic lens, where it says that you have the most popular party and you have a preferred candidate. How does this operate? Right, and you'd see the deliberate attempt. When I sat here, I told you that, look, 3 newspapers, all trying to splash it. It just tells you that it was cooked. How important is this to the good people of Ghana that it becomes banner headline even on a national daily? And you see the effort at which the editor puts to give credibility to the pollster by referring to the person as a political scientist, when, in fact, a technical university such as Kumasi Technical University
I got it immediately.
Wouldn't even have a political science department. So it tells you that they even did a shoddy job, right, in trying to project this sponsored banner headline to make Dr. We know he's on the ground, and they're just trying as much as they can to do this. Because
so point made. I think your point is well made.
So a word to the editor of the Daily Graphic. I think that this is a national daily. No matter what pressure government, we know the country is under siege, but try to do your checks very well and report.
Let's be fair to the editor as well.
No, that's why we are.
They have discretion.
Yeah,
they have discretion.
Yeah, but the discretion
and they do what
must
they
be
feel
measured
is
with prudence.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the papers now. I'll start with you, Bernard. The Ghanaian Times newspaper. What stories are you going to look at?
Well, outcome of South Korea Africa Summit. Ghana secures $2 billion financial deal to implement key projects over 5 years.
Okay.
Then Lands Minister inaugurates 5 million Ultramodern Akim Odan Minerals Commission office complex. Retain part of profit in Ghana, Asante Hine to mining companies. Wa East District records 147 teenage pregnancies. I'm thrilled by a story at the back page, so permit me. It says that 22 poultry farmers get 12.5 million World Bank support to produce 2 million bears yearly. I have interest in this particular story because I'm a farmer.
Tell me.
And in particular, that if we are not careful, everything about our agriculture, and particularly about our food, about our meat and everything, is being controlled away from us. Now, this support that they are giving us, they are going to give you day-old chicks. The Ashanti region is going to get about 40,000 day-old chicks. Who is going to supply them? We will be here, and these day-old chicks will be brought from the Netherlands, from Belgium, and other places. That's where we now buy turkey and other things from.
Yeah.
And so what eventually...
Even from Brazil. I heard, interestingly, because of the cost of local production, we're getting poultry products from Brazil.
So we bring these day-old chicks from Turkey, from Belgium, from Brazil, from the Netherlands. Then you flood the Ghanaian economy. Taste is fast changing. At the end of the day, people will begin to prefer this. The World Bank and the IMF will cease to give you support any longer. Now that they know that they have captured your appetite for it, your economy is crumbling. Poultry production will totally kaput. Do you understand? So the Ministry of Agric must be on the watch out. You see, this is like a bait. What do you call it? When you are going to catch a fish, you put something on the hook, then you swing it in. Then you get a bigger meat outside of it. Precisely is what the World Bank and the IMF are doing. They have been doing this in collaboration with many other countries, particularly the European Union and the United States of America, to ensure that African agriculture is totally taken away from us. Because what we now have control over probably is our food production. Now, if they are able to take our food production, we have nothing. See, we are securing money from South Korea to come and do what? This is going to be a loan. So all the time, before we can do anything, we must go external.
Right.
Common poultry, akukonam, non-nene. We have to go outside to go and get it and bring to this country. I get devastated that our leaders don't want to think beyond the parameters of the documents that they put before them. When they put these documents, you have to interrogate it. Look, there are institutions like Third World Network, right, that have gone into these things in detail, and they will be able to tell you what the consequences of these things are. We have this institution here, led by Dr. Graham and others. Subject these documents to them. Let them proofread. Let them tell you what their suspicions will be. And I'm sure that our nation will become better than what we are doing currently.
Right. Are you done with the
I am.
All right. So let's check out some other papers.
Well, today I think we've just had
Quite a debate on that.
We seem to have daily guide and
we
daily graphic.
something here.
And for me, that actually, well, NLA. I mean, lotteries. You know, lottery and gambling. I'm a Muslim, so I hardly really look into these things.
No, it is worrying.
But it is worrying to say, okay, well, it says that the NLA hosts European lotteries. I'm really wondering what it is that has brought the European
but you know what?
Into town. Yeah.
Can we do this? Just get into the story before, so that we have an idea.
And I want to say something
and
before
we
you
get
to the story. Have you noticed that most television stations, radio, or let me put it generally, media houses have now become lotto houses?
Or they have become, indeed. And that's worrying. Yeah. That's worrying, indeed.
So you get up in the morning, and National Lotteries is using media houses to engage people to do lottery.
They will tell you that they need to pay their bills. They need to pay staff. They need to pay for electricity and water.
My point is, you look at all these apps that are being used that are not even controlled. And the 18s are getting into this. And it's very discretionary. And we all know what...
Some of those ones where you can... I don't want to mention...
Yes, but I think that is something that we need to really look at. But
look, I've always said...
My religion actually doesn't even permit.
I've always said...
But for the social good of it, it's good to have that engagement and discussion to say, you know, can we put impediments in place to actually... more so with the under 18s.
I'm not a betting person.
Yeah.
I'm not a betting person, and I've always had my aversion to some of these things, especially with the number of youth getting on board. It tells you there's a dislocation.
Have you checked the betting companies?
The dislocation in our society and in our economy. Because if too many people are getting on board these things, it tells you that there's something wrong somewhere. Then the other issue is the fact that we've even taxed. Are you aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
The 10%. So we've gone to the point where we've accepted, and now we are taxing the earnings. 10%. I'm not denigrating, any.
No, but
but I'm saying, my principles are against it.
So it's an error.
But then it's got to.
It's an era where you probably would have a Muslim candidate campaigning for interest-free or Islamic banking services of riba, and then you have lottery or lottery services.
Let's get into the
But then again, as you said, you would have to have like the gaming commission. It's not just a lottery thing. When we talk about betting and gaming, it's a broader stakeholder issue. And I think that's where the churches...
And the CEO, Samir Uku, I think for the second time has been adjudged,
Well, but I don't know in what capacity is he being adjudged CEO of the year.
What does he produce?
What do you do at the lottery service?
But I'm just saying that for the second, for a second time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what goes into these awards, right? When we should be having CEOs of farming agencies getting awards, but we are rather awarding CEOs of lotteries and betting institutions. That it tells you.
Can we get into the story? Let's just get a feel of the story. And time is ticking. Yeah. Let's get a feel. It's on page 6, is it?
Page 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, NLA hosts European lotteries. The National Lottery Authority has hosted European lotteries in a training program on responsible gaming, okay? This formed part of the NLA's commitment to promote responsible gaming practices in accordance with the standards of the World Lottery Association. The training, attended by management of the NLA, held sessions for retailers, private lotto operators, third-party collaborators, and lotto marketing companies. The NLA has achieved WLA Level 2 certification in responsible gaming and has applied to attain Level 3. So I don't know what kind of level, what goes into the categorization of these levels and what we have done in our part of the world in terms of responsible lottery or gambling, be it what it is. That's the conversation we're having as far as the youth are concerned, and this is what is being done. Whether it's a tick box exercise, we don't know. It'll be good to actually look at the metrics of that. So it says level 3 certification requirement stipulates that the authority embarks on such training to periodically strengthen its lottery operation in accordance with best practice of the WLA. And by WLA, to help listeners, is World Lottery Association.
Okay, so I think we've delved into that. But there's another interesting story on that page. It's been happening. Fire guard structures at Circle. Bernard, Prof, it appears, when I first joined the multimedia group, about the first 3, 4, 5 reports I ever did had to do with fires. They were just happening almost, every week or every other week. It is almost, I don't know how we think. You put up the thing, beautiful, grand, or of course, in some instances, it is crammed with a lot of, it's a recipe for disaster. One of these around the Odona area, I remember going there. I took a bit of a risk because, yes, we had been there, the fire service came. But there was this point, there was this little stall made of metal, those metal stalls, a little one. And the cameraman, I had him film. We were both standing there. That gas cylinder could have exploded, by the way, but we just wanted to capture the gas cylinder in there. In these, so when there's a, in fact, it could be the cause, or if there is, it could what? Let the fire just escalate into something very incendiary. And you ask yourself, how? And then it will happen, then we'll come and say, government should come and support. Then in some instances, taxpayers' money. I don't get it.
I think
I don't get it.
Ben, the health and safety regime in this country ought to be relooked at again. Not just the health and safety regime. I also think that the National Fire Service ought to be seen as doing a very good job. I'm not saying that they are not doing a very good job, but when you have places such as, or public places such as markets or market squares, if you go with your camera crew today, probably the number of fire extinguishers and hydrants that you could locate in these places may either be non-existent. Okay,
so pardon me, I have to do this. We have a breaking story, and there's something sad that has happened in the Gumamampong area. On the back of flooding, we hear the road, a main road, has actually been affected. We have Kofi Ajay, our correspondent in that area. Kofi Ajay, what can you report? What can you report of this? We hear the road has split. Now, if you look there, you can actually see it.
The main Ayensu bridge. What I can report is that the bridge has taken leaves the blockage of the road. Currently, Kaswa Cape Coast Highway has been blocked. No car can bypass the Ayensu River from maybe Cape Coast to Kaswa, as the same thing from Kaswa to Cape Coast. Currently, the road has been blocked. The bridge has caved in. No car is moving.
So you're saying the bridge was affected and by and the road as well?
The government has awarded double dualization from Kaswa to Uniba Stretch. So the contractor is working on the road, and he has blocked the main bridge that serves River Ayensu at Acheko. Those who are familiar on this road, when you are traveling from Cape Coast to Kaswa, when you reach Acheko, there's a bigger river over the called River Ayensu. And the contractor is constructing modern bridge on the main bridge. So he has blocked the main bridge that serves the river. So that's what has caused the flood over here. So currently, Gomoy's Nadmo Director is here. I don't know what they are doing to save lives and property. And 3 buildings have also been collapsed with about 400 people affected, living homeless. Nadmo Director, good morning. Welcome to join me.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
What can you tell us?
Currently, in fact, we were here yesterday thinking that the water will be reduced so that the commuters or the drivers can have access to the road. But as you can see here, the road has been blocked. I think the bridge has collapsed totally. So we are appealing to the motorists or the drivers coming from Kaswa, when you are approaching Ocherko Junction, there is a junction called Porton. You can use that road. Then you use our road. Then you enter Winneba Junction. Or when you are coming from Cape Coast at Winneba Roundabout, you use your right. There's a community called Ginger that you can use that to Akwete Junction. But this is what I can say for now. So we are appealing to the drivers. Nobody should get closer to Ocherko at the Ukama stretch of the Winneba Kaswa Road. It is dangerous and it can kill. Please.
What caused this?
The contractor wanted to divert the water and start building the ultra-modern bridge over here. But as you can see, the volume of the water is so heavy to the extent that it cannot the bridge cannot contain the water. That has caused the disaster now.
Millions of people have been also affected.
Yes, we have 3 buildings collapsing. Yesterday, around 11 p.m., we went and evacuated them to a safer place. Almost 150 to 160 houses have been submerged by the water. So currently, they are occupying some school buildings and a Pentecost church. In fact, they have been helpful to us. They have accommodated them this morning.
Have you consulted the contractor? And what are they saying?
Yes, we are in touch with the contractor and we are asking him to come and open at least one side of the bridge so that the water can have its free flow.
Kofi Ajay, can we know who the contractor is?
The name of the contractor is NAG Fairmont. NAG N-A-G, and the Fairmont is F-A-I-R-M-O-U-N-T. NAG Fairmont.
NAG Fairmont.
Yes, please.
Kofi, we're grateful to you. We'll be coming back to you intermittently for further details and see whether these gates will be opened and to decrease this chaotic scene on that stretch. But that is Kofi Ajay, our correspondent in the area, bringing us the latest on that Gomwa Mampong stretch. So the warning is that if you're going to use that stretch, avoid the Winneba Kaswa road, at least from that particular junction. The road was blocked by the contractor. The bridge gave in or caved in, and now this is the situation. What did you say, Bernard?
This contractor is going to be paid. No punitive actions will be taken against him. There is a consultant to the road work. There are supervising...
I was going to ask, so who are the technical people on the ground?
There are supervising engineers.
Who did this?
Who decided that a route, what do we call it, a bridge that allows passage of water should be blocked. And there is no diversion where the water should pass. And we are in the raining season. And you cause a major disaster of this magnitude. And then everybody will sit down, and Ministry of Finance will be willing to pay, Ministry of Roads will be saying that contractors should be paid. I
mean, the contractor should get paid, but maybe the liabilities for this should be dealt with.
If you are a contractor and you do shoddy job, your company is blacklisted. Minimum 5 years.
I mean, those are subsequent actions. But I'm saying that for the work, to be fair, in contrast, for the work that has been done, the person will have to be paid. Done? Maybe, but look, you caused this amount of damage and all of that. Less this, and maybe you are not going to get any contracts. I mean, that is fair. But you cannot say that for what has been done, even what has been done out.
No, shoddy jobs must not be tolerated.
I'm not saying
for me,
it should be tolerated. But this is so sad. Did you see that it had gone into some houses?
No.
And some of the cars in there, it could go into your engine.
No, the cars in motion. One of them is like a fuel
tanker.
Yeah, I saw it. It's coming. And I'm even worried. You see, the water is moving this way. And the cars are coming. And if you know water, the ferociousness of the water can easily lift one of these cars.
In fact, even these tankers, if the water
can just lift it.
It can take the tanker off.
You see, we are not only blaming the contractors here. What's the highway authority doing? What's urban roads doing?
Look at people's houses.
Roads should have been blocked up and cordoned, right? And maybe emergency routes redirected.
Look, these are people's houses.
These are emergency response issues we should be talking about. So, but very soon when things start happening, then probably
look, people's houses.
People's homes are.
So now you are calling on NADMO to use state resources to go and redeem a situation where somebody decided to become reckless or decided to take money and refuse to use their professional etiquettes to apply to the
For
job.
me, I don't
Look at this taxi.
on whoever yet, because
Look at this taxi.
stakeholders involved, a lot could have gone wrong even from the side of
Okay, so look at the fuel tanker
agencies
coming.
that are meant to do the right thing.
Anyway, we have to go. We have to go
sick
shortly.
nation.
But this is, mind you, this is something that we're going to be following. We've brought you those
sick nation.
initial scenes, our breaking story. And as the show goes on and in our subsequent bulletins, we will be bringing you details of that.
But
it's a very sad
about
development.
the circle thing.
Yeah,
I
we're
just
still
want
on it.
Yeah, so let's quickly wrap on that. We have to go.
Yes. So for me also, you look at all of these fabrications that have been going on. That worries me a great deal in all of these containers that we have in our marketplaces and market squares.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine a fire situation.
And people are cooking in a lot of them.
A lot of them, and these are like metallic plates, right? The heat and everything. And so if someone even stays there and there is bad fire, it tells you what. So I don't know what sort of measures goes into determining the kind of material that is meant to be used for public places such as market squares and the likes of. So I think that this is where we had to get our health and safety regime just not only perfect but right, and also where the Ghana National Fire Service ought to be seen as very proactive in actually helping with the fire extinguishers, assembling points, design. You go to some of these markets, for all you know, the assembling point is even being used as a sales grounds for someone else. And when there is fire directions, nobody even knows where the assembling point is. There are not green arrows pointing to where to go to. So I think that there's a lot more to be done. We have our mothers and grandparents there. We have our brothers and sisters all out there. So
well, we must also be responsible when we go into these places, knowing that
you could
our
be
lives
responsible.
are at stake.
No, you could be responsible, but if the right or safety regime is not put in place, it will still spill over to you.
Final, I'm not reading any stories, just headlines I'll leave you with on the international front. ANC eyes national unity government. You know, we know what has happened in South Africa. French military trainers would be legitimate target in Ukraine. Republicans attack Biden's border plan, and there's still that gag on President Trump as far as the hush money issue is concerned, which his lawyers want lifted. And then global public debt hits record $97 trillion in 2023. That's according to the UN. But there's an interesting story I'll direct you to on page 7. What is plea bargaining? It's become popular on the back of the AG, Dr. Kasila, to forcing tussle. You might want to check out details of that. Gentlemen, 10 seconds, final words.
Well, I think that we just have to be a serious nation. We are not angry enough about the...
4 seconds gone.
For the difficulties that our nation faces. And young people must rise up.
All right.
For me, my pet peeve this morning is the Daily Graphic actually carrying this survey of a hatchet job that's being done by a political party.
Hatchet job?
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's pretty much
all right.
So I think that they should refrain from doing that. They are a national daily paper. They should give us some respect and make sure that they report rightly on some of these things.
I see they've really infuriated
me. Yeah, they've really infuriated me.
Right, so this is how we cap off the news review. A few birthdays. Today we celebrate the birthday of Chief Superintendent Esther Mausi Hoga of the Ghana Immigration Service, who serves as the Deputy Head of the Commonwealth Section. It goes on and on. We celebrate you, Chief Superintendent Esther Mausi Hoga. We also celebrate, this skipped me yesterday, Samuel Dame, producer extraordinaire on the Super Morning Show, and of course, News File, together with our very own Kingsley Otu. Yesterday was your birthday, Samuel Dame, and we celebrate you. You're a fantastic gentleman.
He also has
the final one is to celebrate Dr. Albert Schweitzer Lomokecha. He is Honorable Consul of Ghana to Ukraine. And he's actually celebrating his birthday today, and he's told me that he's dedicating the day to reaching out to the needy and the less privileged in society. And he's encouraging all of us to do the same on his birthday. So we celebrate Samuel Dame, we celebrate Dr. Albert Schweitzer Lomokecha, and we also celebrate Chief Superintendent Esther Mausi Hoga. Before we veer into sports, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic helped us bring you this segment. They're offering you prostate screening for free if you're a man, fertility screening for free if you're a woman. Reach out to them at any of their branches, starting with Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi, Kronoma here behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takrady Anaji Estate, Tema Community 22, and there's also Techiman Hanswa and Esiaman Zama. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Sports is up next. We'll be telling you about that big day for the Black Stars against Mali and more. Do stay.